Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bot War miniature game battle report, and today for you we have an almost 80 strong force of Valiants versus Deceivers. I think both teams come in at 78 and 76, or maybe they're both 78. Either way, not quite the full 80 but as close to it as I can get with the miniatures we have available. Just testing some stuff and a correction on the first test battle report that we did. The mistake I made in it, which was pointed out by the creator of the game in the comments, was that you can't shoot into or out of close combat. So that was an error that would have potentially changed the end of the game if you saw that one. So we'll do that one correctly today, and with that let's get started, look at the teams and then the pre-selected mission. So here is the Valiant team, almost all just the starter box, one miniature dropped to make room for two additional ones, being led by General Duke in the middle there, but then we have Top Star, we have Angel, we have Wolf in black there, and then newcomers, we have Broadsword, and inside of him in cassette form we're going to have Resistor. So he has to spend a 2 upkeep, which is also how much he contributes to the energy pool, if he wants to start the game hidden inside him, and he can pop out of him at some point. If he's still inside him when Broadsword dies, they both die. So that's something to watch out for. And I think this is 13 in total, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, they have 13 in their energy pool, and I think that about covers it. And here is the Deceiver team being led by Mega Tyrant, who contributes 2, although he can steal energy from his teammates if he can see them when he begins his activation. And then the Builders, whose names I'm reading off the cards, but we'll try and get it right. Dump Truck, Dozer, Digger, Roller, and Loader. And they are all combiners. And as you can see, they've contributed 14, I think. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep, so they've got one more energy in their pool. And, well, I was going to say that gives them a slight advantage. Not necessarily. I guess it gives you a spare die, or a spare cube rather, if you want to use it for boosting defense or attack, but we'll see how it goes. With that, let's go over the mission. So we're going to be trying out scenario 4 Assassinate, which means you don't just deploy at the edge of either end of the table, you get a 6-inch deployment zone, and it's Kill the Leader, which is the most valuable miniature on each side, so that's Mega Tyrant and General Duke respectively on the Deceivers and Valiants. You also get bonus additional victory points every time you get a kill, and the amount of victory points you get depend on the amount of HP they had. So 4 or under is 1 point, 5 or 6 is 2, greater than 7 health is 4, and killing the leader is 5, and you also get a bonus 5 if your leader, well sorry, I didn't say leader because I guess you could technically bring a cheap leader and a strong warrior or something. Your most valuable player, I guess, let's say 5 points if you kill the enemy one, and 5 points if your one survives to the end. 8 turns, although probably won't go that long, because it goes until you wipe each other out as well. So we'll see which side of the table, which I'm aware is not exactly correct scale, but working with what we've got, and we'll see who's deploying at which side and who's going first. Alright, we are set up for the mission. The Deceivers are deployed on your left and the Valiants are on the right. So if we just take a look over here, we can see Wolf hiding in the trees here for cover, Broadside, Duke, and then we have Top Star and Angel up there also hiding in the trees. Worth mentioning strategy rating wise, a few of the Valiants are definitely going to get first because they're quite low strategy rating. Everyone except Mega Tyrant on the Deceivers side is strategy rating 6, so although they have to wait a little while before they'll start getting activations, they then get a lot. In fact, I don't think any of the Valiants are strategy rating 6. Wolf is 5 and Angel is 7, no. So after the 5s go and it switches to the 6s, all of the Builders get to activate simultaneously, well not simultaneously, but in a row before another Valiant gets to go, and that's a pretty substantial chance to do a lot of condensed damage on one target or a few targets. Mega Tyrant is strategy rating 10, so he'll be slow along with General Duke, and Broadside is strategy rating 8. But yeah, that's how they're deployed. So we are ready to get things started, and it will be the strategy rating, well, strategy rating 3 would technically be first, but that's Resistor, who's inside Broadsword, so he won't be getting a turn. He is paying his 2 for upkeep. So we're going to jump straight to strategy rating 4 to get battle round 1 started. So Top Star activated, he had 1 energy cube on him, but he's efficient, so he gets to do 1 activation in his turn for free. He moved up his 7, not quite the full 7, so that he is fully obscured by the cover of the ruins there, and he banked his 1 cube for defense as well. So next we're going to the strategy ratings. Five. And the only one who has strategy rating 5 will be Wolf, so he'll be activating. He could have scouted, incidentally, just so that I forgot to cover this on camera. He has scout, so he could start anywhere, with some rule exceptions, not within 12 of an enemy, I think. He didn't, because with so many of the Deceivers going at once, it seemed like a good way to just get yourself killed. So Wolf just spent 1 energy cube to move through the trees to where you can see him here, obscured with plenty of cover. However, that did also mean he couldn't see Mega Tyrant's base at all, like he would just shoot down here. No line of sight, so couldn't take a shot, so he's banking 1 energy for boosting defense. So with that, now we're on to strategy rating 6, so all the builders get to activate. So we're covering the activations of the first 2 of 5 builders, so we're going to start with the Core Combiner Dump Truck. He just spent 1 to move up 7 and then couldn't see anybody, so he's just banking energy for defense. Then next to him, Loader activated, spent 1 energy cube to also move 7 to where you can see him, and then he took a shot at long range at Top Star right down the table. You can see him even though he is obscured, literally and also with the rule. So he loses a die for shooting long range, Top Star gains a die for being in cover, and he had Lucky, which allows, he had Obscure, which gives him a bonus die, he's in cover, which gives him a black die, and he has Lucky, which let him do a reroll. The attack roll on 2 dice was 5, Top Star's defense roll was 3 with 3 blanks, so the black die was the 3, rerolled 1, still got a blank. So he took 2 damage, which isn't great because he only has 4 HP, so he has 2 left, unfortunately, which was a little unlucky. So just going to quickly cover the rest of the builders' activations at strategy rating 6, because they all just spent 1 cube to move. Also did slightly reposition, for no particular reason, had to make sure they were all within 2 of the Core Combiner there, so just reshuffled slightly. He came back a little bit, he moved to the right slightly, the left slightly to make room here, just so that they are all within 2 of him, again, for no particular reason. So that's all the strategy rating 6s, so now we go to strategy rating 7, and that would be Angel. So Angel spent her first cube to move 7 out of the trees and into the cover there, and then she shot her crossbow down the field. Long range, so 3 attack dice go down to 2. There you can see her roll, it was 4. I forgot that I was in the habit of showing the results of the rolls. I'll keep doing that going forwards. And it was on this gentleman who had 1 power to spend on shield boosting, so he normally has 3 dice, but he boosted to get an extra 1, and as you can see he blocked 2, so he still took 2 damage, and he has, I believe, 4 HP on Roller is his name. 5 HP, sorry, so he has 3 HP remaining. Strategy rating 8 characters were next, and that's only Broadsword, and all he did was double move. So he started over there with General Duke, moved, and then moved. He is going for a flank on Mega Tyrant back here, and of course he still has the cassette inside, which might deploy next turn. And there's no strategy rating 9s, so we go straight to strategy rating 10s, which are with 2 opposing leaders, and the rulebook does say in cases of a tie, Valiants go first. So General Duke will be activating next. So General Duke spent 1 cube to move 7. 7 is apparently the lucky number for Valiants. Valiant's Nurgle supporters confirmed. Either way, he then took a shot at the Core Combiner of the builders, but he was shooting through the scenery here, like shooting through the open windows, so cover was given just because it felt that would be fairest, even though I'm not sure if you're up to cover, it's ignored. Either way, he rolled well for his attack, 4 dice down to 3 for long range, barely, which is 5. The defense roll with the extra die thrown in, I mean, if he counted that as the extra die, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. But he rolled 4 for defense, so he took 1 damage. The Core Combiner is slightly tougher than the rest of his builders. He has 6 HP, so he is down to 5 remaining. And now it is over to Mega Tyrant to end off the first battle round. So Mega Tyrant moved such that he could see Broadsword, but was also still 50% obscured for cover for the next turn. He's close range, so he got to roll his full attack, which would be 4. He boosted it for an extra 1, and as you can see, he rolled an astonishing 10 damage, all the 2s. Broadsword had 1 cube left, which he used to boost his defense, so his 3 shield dice went to 4, and just as well, he rolled very well, but not enough to avoid the damage. He blocked 8, so he still took 2 damage, and he has 8 HP, I think. We come over here for a second, I can check. Yes, 8. So he is down to 6 remaining. So at the end of battle round 1, there is no victory points scored for either side, although both sides have managed to bloody the nose of each other. A couple of the builders have taken damage. Top Star's 1 away from death, or 2 away from death. Broadsword took a bad hit there as well. and as far as the leaders go, both of them could potentially get hit next turn. So with that, let's go straight into Battle Round 2. So as we get Battle Round 2 started, and it will be the Valiants going first, both in strategy rating from the previous turn, but also because Resistor has popped out, he's no longer inside the host, so he's deployed, and he's strategy rating 3, so he will be going first. That's just one thing to cover. He's down there, he's going to go for Mega Tyrant and try and rip out of his throat. But the other thing to mention is that each of the builders has contributed 2 energy to upkeep their ultimate, which is to combine. So as you can see, they have combined into a very large threat that is going to bear down on everyone else. The rules for combiners are now, if he gets shot at, the damage he takes is randomized, and if any of his sections ever die, they're removed. The rest of them split, take 1 damage as well, and as they kind of fall to the floor. He gets 1 bonus black die for close ranged attacks, so not over 10, and if he's hitting in close combat, he gets 2 additional black die on top of the normal 1 you usually get, for a total of 3. Also, he gets 3 extra shield dice, but other than that, he uses the Core Combiner's stat card. So, there's a very large threat on the field. Who wants to eat General Duke? But, we're starting turn 2 proper with the little doggo. So Resistor had to choose between taking 2 shots at Mega Tyrant, but him getting cover for being obscured, an extra black die, which is pretty bad, or moving and shooting at him once, which is what he did opt to do for his 2 cubes. So he moved so there was a clear line of sight at point blank, but not in close combat. Shot his range and did really well despite only rolling 2 dice. He got 6. Mega Tyrant rolls 4 shield dice. He blocked 4, so he took 2 damage, didn't boost. So he started at 10 HP, so he has 8 left. And now we go to the next low strategy rating, which is Top Star at strategy rating 4. Top Star used his free activation to move 7, still trying to hug cover, and he shot within 10, so it was a normal shot, so 3 dice at, not Devastator, I think it's called Destructor, I'm just going to call him Devastator. Shot at Devastator and got 4 hits. Now the Core Combiner's normal shield is 3, so in combined form he gets 6. You don't actually get 6 shield dice in the box, so I just re-rolled a blank. So that was a blank, re-rolled it to count as the 6th die. As you can see, he blocked 7, which is more than enough to have taken no damage. So the next strategy rating up, before he gets to have a turn, is Wolf, who is all the way over there. So Wolf moved up for his first activation, spending 1 cube, then he spent his other to do a close ranged attack, and as you can see his roll was less than stellar, but the 4 shield dice roll for Mega Tyrant was actually worse, to the point he took 1 damage. So he's got 7 left. Now though, the hurting begins, because the large lad gets to go at strategy rating 6. So Devastator moved up 7 to where you can see him. He unleashed a close ranged attack on Broadsword. The roll with the extra black die thrown in whiffed pretty badly. If it wasn't for the black die thrown in, it would have been 0, and Broadsword, he boosted his defense, fearing a lot of damage coming in. It wasn't needed, as it turns out, but he blocked 6, so he took nothing. So now we go up to strategy rating 7, which I believe is Angel. So Angel spent 2 activation cubes on 2 movement actions for her turn. She went 7, to where you can see her here, either to help out or to try and focus down Mega Tyrant. So simple turn for her. Now we're over to strategy rating 8, which is just Broadside, and then it's over to the 2 leaders. So Broadsword opted to ignore the large problem. He moved closer to Mega Tyrant to put on the pressure, not close enough to get into close combat, so he did a close ranged attack instead. He got 4. Without even boosting, Mega Tyrant was able to block it all. So with that, we are over to General Duke, because he's the Valiant of SR10 strategy rating, and then we're back over to him, and I worry for these two when that happens. So General Duke had the foolish notion of wanting to be a hero. He spent 2 energy cubes on his first action to do Ram, his once per game ultimate, so that's 3 extra inches of movement, putting him at 10, and if he gets into close combat, he gets a extra black critical die. Seemed like the best chance to make Devastator break apart. As you can see, his roll was less than stellar, and as you can see, Devastator's roll was more than acceptable, to the point he took no damage. And because he took no damage, that also means he can't use the disengage rule. The disengage rule is if you successfully deal damage in close combat, you can move back an inch, because that way you can plan out if someone else is getting a turn after you, they can still shoot him because you're not locked in combat. As it is now, they're locked in combat, and that doesn't bode well at all. So now it's over to Mega Tyrant to end off the battle round. So Mega Tyrant spent 1 energy cube to do a close range attack blast on Resistor. As you can see, he rolled very well. That probably would have been enough to kill Broadsword, as it turns out. But Resistor's shield dice were not in his favour. He only has 4 HP max and he just took a lot more than that. He is destroyed and taken out the game, and more importantly, that is 1 victory point for him having 4 or less HP via the scenario rules. And then he used his other energy cube to move away 7 just because he's so slow and gets his turn last. So that does take us to the end of Battle Round 2. Things are looking dicey with the large problem in the middle of the map right next to one of the priority targets. And with that said, we'll get set up for Battle Round 3. So with Resistor dead, we jump straight to strategy rating 4 as the first to activate anybody with Top Star, and he of course gets 1 free activation. So for that he did a move right into the open, but then he did a ranged attack close at Mega Tyrant. You can see his roll there, he got 6. Mega Tyrant's defense roll, a paltry 2. So he just took 4 damage, leaving him at 3 remaining, which is promising. Because as scary as Devastator is, if the leader goes down, that's 5 victory points. Although on that note, General Duke is obviously in danger. Now, the next strategy rating up is going to be Wolf, who I don't know if he might be able to get a line of sight. Let's see what happens. Wolf moved forwards his 7, and then he fired at Mega Tyrant close range. And there's his attack roll. However, 50% of him was obscured by kind of like the corner here, so Black Critical Die was included in his defense roll. Just as well it was, because otherwise he would have taken 1 damage. But, alas, Wolf did nothing. So the next strategy rating up is the big man himself. The builders get to go. So we're going to do a play-by-play here. I turned Devastator just so it'd be a bit more dramatic if he's facing down General Duke. He has only done 1 action so far, so he did a close attack, so he gets his 2 base, 1 for being in close combat, and then 2 extra black die for being a combined form. That's in the row, so for 3 in total. His roll wasn't that great considering, and this is General Duke's defense. He boosted it, so he got extra die thrown in. He blocked 3, so all said and done he took 4. But since the combat is not over and he still has 1 more cube to spend, Devastator smacking him again. Oh boy, and here's the results of the second attack. Much better on the attack roll. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 11. And again, boosted defense, so he's only got 1 cube on him left. He did do pretty well. He blocked 7. So he took 4 more damage, meaning he is on 2 HP remaining, which is pretty dangerous. But that is Devastator's turn gone. So the next strategy rating up is strategy rating 7, and that is Angel over there, who I don't think is going to be able to get a line of sight on Mega Tyrant now because he fled. So because Devastator opted to stay in combat, Angel can't shoot at him, and she can't get line of sight past to see Mega Tyrant. So instead, just double moved for her turn, so 14 in total. Put her down there with the rest of the lot, but she's fast. She can maybe catch up, and she hasn't used her ram attack yet either. Next strategy rating up is back to Broadsword. Broadsword did well. He spent 2 cubes to activate his once per game ram attack, which is a bit weird because I thought he changed into like a Ghetto Blaster, but whatever. So he had 10 inches of movement. He soared around the corner. He got into close combat, so he had a bonus black die for the combat attack. He rolled 6, but as you can see, Mega Tyrant managed to block 5. That was including boosting his defense, because normally he's 4. So he still took 1 damage, which leaves him at 2 HP as well, ironically. So both leaders are at 2 HP. But Broadsword did successfully do damage, so he backed off. And that does mean Mega Tyrant could still engage, but because he spent 1 to boost his defense, fearing death, he only has 1 cube left, so he's only doing 1 thing when it does roll round to his turn. But first, it is back over to General Duke, locked in combat with the monstrosity. So after having to boost his defense twice when he got attacked by Devastator, General Duke had 1 energy cube left, so he only initiated 1 attack for his turn. He did okay with the roll, he got 6, but as you can see, the defense roll matched him. So no damage done, and that also means he can't pull out of combat, so they're still locked together there. And now it is over to Mega Tyrant, who also only has 1 energy cube, to end the battle round. So knowing that Top Star would go early in the next battle round, Mega Tyrant stood his ground, turned and fired at him. He rolled a massive 9 on his attack. Top Star gets 1 extra shield die for being obscured. He actually rolled really well. He rolled 6 defense, but that still means 3 damage got through, and he had 2 health left. So he is gone, and that is another 1 victory point for the Deceivers, and that does take us to the end of the battle round. So as we start this battle round with Resistor and Topstar both dead, we jump straight to strategy rating 5? Strategy rating 5 for Wolf. He spent 1 cube to move his 7 round here to get line of sight on Mega Tyrant. He used his other to initiate a ranged attack, close range, did 6. Mega Tyrant rolled his 4 defense dice, only got a 2, which means that 4 damage got through. He only had 2 left. Mega Tyrant is down, and that does mean the Valiants have scored 5 victory points, and then we jump up to, I think it's straight to Devastator now. So you can probably guess how this went, but Devastator spent a cube on a close combat attack. There's his roll. There's the defense roll, which was a valiant effort, no pun intended, to defend, but it was 9 damage, 5 defense, 4 damage went through, he had 2 health left. General Duke is also down, meaning that they won't get 5 points for their leader, or MVP rather, surviving, and the Deceivers have scored 5 victory points. Devastator then spent his other energy cube that he had to move right over there. So now he's just standing there, and we're down to 3 miniatures left, so it's over to Angel next. So Angel moved around the corner here and then initiated an attack on Devastator, and she did well. She rolled 6. I remember her crossbow doing well in the first battle report as well, actually. She's pretty dependable. So it did 6. Devastator's defense roll plus the extra 1 rolled in, because he's supposed to have 6, was still only 3 defense, so he took 3 damage. So 3 damage was randomized amongst all his parts. Just had the cards in a line, rolled a d6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, reroll results of a 6 because there's not a 6th combiner. So the 3 damage was done to the core combiner in the middle, so Dump Trunk is at 4 HP, and then 2 was done to Loader, and he is now down to 3 HP. He wasn't damaged prior to the combination. I don't know which part is Loader. I think it's him. I think it's that arm. So again, he won't break unless one part fully dies, so they've got to do at least 3 damage to 1. Yeah, 2 of his parts have 3 health left. His center piece has 4 left. Now, after Angel though, let's see. Oh, it should have been Wolf first, not Angel. Oh wait, no, he already went, right, and killed Mega Tyrant? Yeah, sorry, I'm losing track. So, after Angel, it is Broadsword, and then because both leaders are dead, it's turn end. Well, it's going to get very quick now. Alright, Broadsword to end the turn. So Broadsword just stayed where he was and initiated 2 ranged attacks. I choose to believe that he's shooting like energy beams, crescent shaped, from his sword when he does this. The first one did literally no damage, that's why I have not covered it on camera. This is the roll for his second one, which did 6. Defense roll was 5. 1 damage got dealt randomly, again to a different piece. 1 was done to this leg, which is Dozer, and that was his first bit of damage, so he is down to 4. And with that, the round is over. We start things up again with very few miniatures left on the table, so we have to jump straight to strategy rating 5, and Wolf will be beginning battle round 5, I think. So things are really speeding up now, so Wolf just stayed where he was because he can very clearly see a lot more than 50% of Devastator. His first attack was fully blocked, so just going to cover his second, which did pretty well. There's the defense roll. 1 damage got through, it was randomized to the core again, so the central piece, putting Dump Truck at 3 HP remaining, but it is now the big man's turn himself. So Devastator had 2 energy cubes, spent 1 on a move to get into close combat with Broadsword. He rolled his attack dice and did not do well. Broadsword boosted his defense. Well, I was going to say good job he did, but he had enough HP left over. He rolled 3 defense, so he did take 1 damage, leaving him at 5. Despite doing damage, Devastator has opted to stay in close combat because that's the smart thing to do, because now he can't be shot at range, and that's going to be a problem for the other 2. Speaking of which, back over to Angel already. Simple enough move for Angel as a result of close combat being initiated and staying in there. Just moved twice, not quite the full 14 that she's allowed, to get where she is there, to hopefully get some shots off next. So now it's over to Broadsword to end the turn. So I totally forgot when Devastator was attacking Broadsword. His sword ability forces the attacker to reroll 1 purple dice. Too late now, but it did notice. So anyway, Broadsword's first attack of the 2 he initiated whiffed entirely. Well, it didn't whiff, it just didn't get through the massive defense. However, his second attack, as you can see, he rolled the best possible on his 3 attack dice. He got 9. Here is the defense dice after including the extra dice, which is just re-rolling a blank in this case. Devastator was able to block 7, so 2 damage got through. 1 more to the core, which means that Dump Truck has 2 health left, and then 1 more was done to Dozer, which is that foot there, also putting him at 3. And oh, sorry, he did damage, so he is He is pulling back 1 inch to allow the others to shoot at Devastator. But that does also take us to the end of battle round 5, so we're straight into battle round 6, back with Wolf, who's obviously just going to try his best to take some pot shots at the large problem. So Wolf just stood still and fired twice, as possibly expected. His first hit was a whiff, here's his second as well, which was also a whiff. 5 damage on the in, and then the defense roll was a massive 8, so nope. So after him, it is straight back over to Devastator, who's probably going to initiate combat again. So Devastator turned around, moved into combat with Angel and attacked her. Here's his damage roll here, he got 8. And here's her defense roll. She spent one of her 2 energy cubes to boost it and she got 6. So she took 2 damage, but that's her first damage, so she is down to 3 HP remaining. And it is also over to her next, and then straight back over to Broadsword after. Devastator opted to stay in combat because it makes sense. With only 1 energy cube, Angel could just do 1 simple attack. She only rolls 2 close combat dice. You know, I've totally been forgetting the bonus black die you get for just initiating combat. Arg, well, you know what, we can roll that one right now, but I've been totally forgetting that for offense rolls. Well, that makes a bit of a difference because that is 6 rather than just 3, so there's actually 3 damage being randomized in. I can't believe I've been forgetting that. I can only apologise. Too many rounds of combat where that was not included in the attacker's roll. I was remembering it for Devastator because he was rolling 3 because of the 2 bonus for being a combiner, but I have totally been forgetting it for the attack roll for Broadsword for sure. I haven't rolled it once for him. So he did, I think he only went into close combat once with Devastator, right? Maybe once with Mega Tyrant. So it's not too bad, but yeah, I was totally forgetting. So I'll show you how I've been randomizing the damage then, since we're recording live. Just, again, D6, going over the cards. So that is, Roller takes a damage point and goes down to 2 health remaining. Second hit that got through, that is on Dozer. He has 2 health remaining. And the third bit of damage, 5, is Loader, and he goes down to 2 health remaining. And she's going to back off because she did damage. I can't believe I've been forgetting that. Oh well, over to Broadsword. So thinking back, it actually would have made a huge difference because when General Duke was attacking, I only gave him the extra black die from using his ultimate, his ram attack. I didn't throw it in for any of the times he was attacking Devastator. So that sucks. That could have made a massive difference. I was remembering it for him, but no one else. I just got blindsided, I guess. Well, did a little bit of retconning as a result. Angel stayed in close combat because if there's a friendly in close combat with the same target you're attacking, you get a bonus purple die as well. Broadsword moved in. He did his basic roll of 3, black die thrown in for combat because I remembered finally, plus the bonus purple because Angel is also in combat with Devastator. As you can see, he did a massive 11 damage. The defense roll on Devastator was 6, 2, 4, 6, so 5 damage to distribute, and Loader took enough damage that he actually got destroyed and the core combining failed. Everybody who collapses takes 1 damage, which also killed Roller, and it leaves Digger on 1 HP. It leaves Dump Truck on 1 HP, and it leaves Dozer on 1 HP. I think they're supposed to surround the core combiner, more or less. So there's only 3 of the builders left, and they're all on 1 HP, as we go into the penultimate battle round with Wolf going first. So I'm not sure I should have called this penultimate because I think the game is going to end on this turn. Wolf fired twice at Dump Truck, the core combiner. His first shot got fully defended. He boosted his defense both times. This is his second attack roll. This is his defense roll. He only needed to do 1, so that is he did Dump Truck, another victory point. Obviously 2 victory points were scored for the 2 that died as part of the falling apart onto the ground. So that's 3 victory points. And now though, let's see who's next fastest. Yeah, it is. It's both of them get to go first before any other Valiants. So Dozer had 2 energy cubes. He spent 1 to get into close combat with Angel and the other to initiate a close range attack. There's the attack roll. There's her defense roll. She is dead. She only blocked 3, she took 4 damage, and she had 3 health left. So that's another victory point to the Deceivers. And now we're over to Digger to end off, well, their turn proper, because then it's just over to Broadsword. So it was the same basic turn for Digger. He moved into close combat with his first energy cube and then spent his other to initiate an attack. Rolled pretty well. 1 of his purple dice were forced to reroll. That was originally a 3. He rerolled as a 2, thanks to the combat sword. And there is the defense roll. He managed to block 4, so he did take a bit of a hit there. He took 3, he's got 2 health remaining, and it is over to him now. So Broadsword initiated a close combat attack, which I don't have the dice rolls here to show you, but he did more than one. So he killed Digger, and then he initiated a ranged attack for his second action using his other energy cube, and these are the rolls for that. He rolled 6, and then, what's his name? Dozer got 4 in his defense, so 2 got through, only needed to get 1, and with his death, it is actually a wipe. For a Valiant win, although I think they would have won with points anyway. We'll double check that in a second. Interesting, just a roll thing for this combat. His sword forces a reroll, or lets you reroll a purple die on the attack against you. Digger has a combat scimitar, which lets you optionally reroll 2 of your own purple dice, but also specifies you can't reroll a reroll. So which initiates first, and does his sword counter the scimitar? I wasn't sure about that interaction. Either way, let's go to the final score. So it was a very bloody battle again, and even though it is an automatic Valiant win because the Deceivers have been tabled, if you go by victory points, that's still the case. The Valiant ended the game with 10 victory points versus a respectable 8 for the Deceivers, but obviously things could have been very different, although I guess the Valiant still won, but it was always the Valiant's rolls that I kept forgetting to add the black die for just being in close combat in general. So my bad. I feel like General Duke would have done better in this combat that happened over 2-3 turns here. If I'd remembered, like, his initial push using his Ram ultimate to get that bonus black die, it should have been 2. That could have punched through the 6 shield and really made a difference to how tanky Devastator appeared. So yeah, my bad for forgetting that complacently and selectively, because I don't know, maybe the reason I was remembering it for Devastator is because in the combiner rules it has in brackets for a total of 3 black dice in like capitals, so when you're doing a close attack that just kind of stuck out and it stayed in there. But it was my the second game ever of Bot War, so still learning, but apologies for the mistakes and any potential influence they could have had on the outcome, but that was still fun. Combiners are interesting, definitely hard to take down even if the bonus black dice were getting thrown in. But yeah, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed. Please do show your support if you wish to see more Bot War in the future. It helps let me know what to prioritise putting on the channel. Thank you for watching this one though and giving it a chance. See you next time. Ta-ta for now.